EVTN news, everyone. Uh, let's see what we got today. I had some news that I wanted to cover. I just kind of found it late, so I'll talk about that at the end. The first news story is um, diverse Austrian baptismal records. The electronic baptismal register of the Gurk Klagenfurt Diocese in Austria lists 3 imaginary genders in addition to the 2 existing ones. While registering a baptism, a priest can choose from 5 options: male, female, mixed, diverse, open, not specified. So, okay. So, yeah, that's diverse in Austria. It's coming to Nova Sordo Parish near you. Um, okay. Moving to Australia. On Tuesday, Australia's Catholic bishops officially approved a liturgy used in a remote Western Australian diocese that incorporates elements of Aboriginal language and culture. That's fully in line with the new doctrines of Vatican II. The liturgy has been celebrated for over 50 years in the Diocese of Broome. So it's been celebrated for almost as long as the Novus Ordo. At the Mass of the Land of the Holy Spirit in Latin, Missa Terris Spiritus Sancti, now awaits the Vatican's official recognition after the Australian Catholic Bishops' Conference passed the motion at its plenary meeting in Sydney on May 7th. According to the Australian Bishops' Conference, a National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Catholic Council described the Mass as a harmonious blend of Catholic and Aboriginal traditions. In a letter of endorsement, the Council praised the Mass as a concrete demonstration of the Church's dedication to embracing Indigenous peoples' spiritual and cultural dimensions, promoting an environment of inclusivity and respect. So I've seen video clips of this so-called Mass, and it was in a hotel conference room, I think. It sort of looked like that. But so there were like normal people attending, then there were these pagans that were dressed in not really a lot of clothes. I said, it's a country mass, like no shirt, no shoes, no problem. If you get the reference. So, yeah, they did that. Then they did a lot of like pagan drumming in the middle of the masses and kind of interrupting it. And the priests there were wearing headbands, like the sweatbands that you would see from like athletes back in the day. So anyway, yeah. Okay. On April 3rd, 2024, a meeting took place between Ukrainian President Zelensky, a delegation of Catholic bishops, and the Protestants of Ukraine. So Bishop Krivitsky, anyway, one of the bishops stressed that the mobilization of parish priests or humanitarian workers would create major problems. Mobilization like militarization. Auxiliary bishop, one of the auxiliary bishops, stressed that priests would also have to join the fight, the conflict, when the new law on mobilization comes into force on the 18th of May, which would require, it would draft priests into the Ukrainian military. All religious denominations will be affected: Latin, Greek Orthodox, or Latin, Greek Catholic, Orthodox, Protestant, and all clergy, with only exceptions based on age, number of children, or state of health. Until now, priests, religious, and seminarians were exempt from military service. One bishop complained that other categories, such as circus performers, are still excluded from mobilization. So that kind of tells you what the religious priority is for Zelensky, which is clown performances. Okay, sort of like the clown masks, Parent Ryan, SJ. Um, yeah. Anyway, all right. A notorious pro-LMNOP parish in the Archdiocese of St. Paul in Minneapolis hosted an explicit musical written by a LMNOP man about his relationship with his now deceased husband this past weekend. This past weekend. It's now. So it was Sunday, May 5th. As Joseph St. James, that's his name, spoke to parishioners ahead of a gym mass held at St. Joan of Arc Catholic Community. I don't know if I've featured these people in my my videos or not, but it's pretty egregious. Anyway, so this parish is in Minneapolis. After telling his mostly white senior citizen audience about the murder of his former husband uh, by their mentally ill neighbor, he invited them to attend the 1:30 p.m. showing of his musical at the parish titled Guts and Gratitude, a Widower's Cabaret. It is unclear if the performance, which raised money for a foundation named after the deceased man, was held in the gym or the main church. St. James shared his 9-minute long remarks before a rainbow stool wearing priest named Father James Cassidy delivered a heretical sermon expressing support for women deacons and social justice ideology. And an update is that the St. Joan of Arc set their 2 videos on its YouTube channel on private mode so that the public cannot watch them. So once they were called out, they turned their videos to private so that they wouldn't face backlash. Hold that thought about hold that thought, because when they have heretical, when a priest does heretical things, they just say remove the video. If the bishop just says remove the videos of the heretical things in question, so no one can. Well, I don't know what the intentions are, but they get those kinds of penalties. Meanwhile, someone like Strickland, anyway, yeah, think about that. Canada's Department of Crown Indigenous Relations has confirmed that it has spent 7.9 million Canadian dollars to uncover the heartbreaking truth of unmarked graves at the former Catholic residential school for Indians in Kamloops. What everyone knew from the start, not a single mass grave was found despite a gigantic media propaganda storm claiming their existence and even bringing Francis to his knees. It was all a hoax. Also interesting, there has been no public disclosure of how the funds were used to search for the non-existent graves. So it's all a scam. Yay! Everyone kind of expected that, and that's what happened. Okay. Where do I have this next news story? Okay. So the Vatican's latest bid to tackle climate change will bring together politicians and researchers from around the world for a 3-day conference next week, which would be, what, this week? This was May 11th, featuring a series of roundtable discussions and culminating in the signing of a new international protocol that will be submitted to the United Nations. The joint summit is called From Climate Crisis to Climate Resilience. Okay, so who's going to be there? Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey, California Governor Gavin Newsom, and New York Governor Kathy Hochul, as well as Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. Yeah, so they're like anti-Catholic, but Francis is inviting them to the Vatican, so that's just the latest in a series of just question marks and whole entire pontificate of Francis. All right, what was the next thing here? I do have a few other stories. I'm just trying to pull some things up here. Okay, come on. Oh, it's from Pope Francis Angelus yesterday. He said, today, so tell me what's wrong with this. I mean, it's pretty basic. He said, today many countries celebrate Mother's Day. Let us think gratefully of all mothers, and let us also pray for the mothers who have gone to heaven. And I saw that and I thought, well, does he understand basic theology? Let us pray for the mothers who have gone to heaven. They don't need our prayers. Should have maybe ran that through the fact checker first. Okay. Oh, good news from Peru. The Peruvian Ministry of Health has decided to include the World Health Organization's classification of diseases in the health insurance system. On May 10th this year, the Peruvian executive approved a decree affecting those who misidentify their genders. So in this measure, in the measure that it implies recognition of LMNOP identities, especially those who misidentify their gender, and it implies the recognition as pathologies. So it's a disease or a disorder. So that's good, I guess. I have another story coming up, but before that, there was another LMNOP blasphemy in a church in Spain. One of the concubines admitted on a social network that their complicity in sin had lasted for 30 years. We were very happy to be able to do it in a church, to be the first LMNOP couple of many to come. That's what they said. Okay. And each of them held a candle. Okay. So that's not that's not very good. Oh, when I shut this off, but I am going to find it here. Okay. So last week I talked about the Chicago blessing of LMNOPs? Because I have an update for that. Just saw it today. So the Chicago priest who apparently gave the LMNOP wedding. So his penalty is a forced apology, signing a forced apology letter. So, okay, but he didn't even apologize himself. It's from his congregation of the mission, the Vincentians of the Western Province. This is from the communications manager for the congregation. It says, Father Joseph Williams, pastor of St. Vincent de Paul Parish in Chicago, is offering an apology for the nature of a blessing he performed for an LMNOP couple at his church on April 21st. A video of this event began circulating online shortly thereafter. Specifically, he said he regrets the language of the blessing and the use of vestments in the church itself, which he now recognizes were a violation of the norms approved by the church. Oh, so he now recognizes it. Oh, wow, he didn't recognize it before. I wonder what seminary he went to that he didn't learn that was an egregious violation of the Catholic faith. Oh, so he just now recognizes it. While Pope Francis in December formally approved the blessing of couples in irregular situations and LMNOP couples, he specified that such blessings do not equate to a wedding and should not employ the clothing and gestures that accompany a wedding. Father Williams stated he had performed the blessing after being approached by the couple and explained to them at the time it would merely be a blessing and not a wedding itself. Father Williams said the shape that the blessing took as portrayed in the video came about due to my attempt to provide for them a meaningful moment of God's grace. I wanted to do it well. A week or so after the fact, I reviewed the video. I immediately realized I had made a very poor decision in the words and visuals captured in the video. So he's apologizing for getting caught. Father Williams said the experience has been a valuable learning experience for him. Oh, that's bad wording. He said, I am deeply sorry for any confusion and or anger that has been caused, particularly for the people of God. And that's it. Father Williams is a member of the congregation of the Mission Western Province, which is headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri. Oh, okay. So, yay! He apologized. No, Supich isn't going to do anything. So everyone can move on. He said he's sorry. Everyone move on. He apologized for getting caught. Okay, thanks for joining the live stream here. My cousin, now in Austria. Aboriginal smoke to purify the soul, woke churches, pagans, oh Canada. The Western grandma with her turkey whistle is happy in Canada. Francis loves to hang with dictators, birds of a feather. Don't breed like rabbits is out. Don't breed like rabbits is out. Oh yeah, that's another news story. I think Francis wanted to encourage people to have more children. So contradicting himself when he said Catholics not to breed like rabbits. Okay. So that is all I have today for EVTN news. I guess I can offer. I guess that's really my thoughts on the situation in Chicago. I mean, it shows that you can do an LMNOP, like essentially an LMNOP wedding, and all you get is, forced apology that you don't even have to apologize yourself. You can have your communications manager apologize for you, and and then you don't get suspended. You don't even get suspended. Like you don't even get placed on a paid sabbatical or whatever, paid suspension, paid, paid administrative leave. Unbelievable. All right. Kind of sad actually. So that's it. This has been EVTN News. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. We are the laity, and we will not be silent. Oh, this is. Hold on. How many of these LMNOP weddings happen behind closed doors? That's a great question. And honestly, I think they're preparing for bigger things now. I mean, I think they let the LMNOPs have their fun, and but I think the synod, what are they preparing for really? Are they preparing for women deacons? Because it would appear that canon law provides an exception. The modern canon law provides an exception for lay people to witness marriages. Not even witness marriages, it's just to administer marriages in a sense. Sure, it's an exception in the, if priests aren't available. So yeah, I think that's, these they're gonna move forward with the women deacons. I don't know if it'll be a formal thing, but they're going to try to eventually make it formal. I think that's the expectation, and it doesn't. And as the LMNOP blessings proved, it doesn't have to happen during the synod. It can happen at any time. At the LMNOP blessings document, it was released in December, so it doesn't have to happen during the synod or around the synod. Orthodox have deaconettes. Francis will follow. Yes, the Orthodox. There's a photo of a woman wearing Orthodox vestments, definitely making a parody of that church. And whatever bishop it is, whatever bishop authorized that is clearly not, has clearly does not have. It clearly does not have supernatural intentions, that's for sure. Anyway. All right. Now for real. Until next time, we are the laity and we will not be silent.